Interest.
Inclusion.
Discovery.
Excellence.
And speak.
But there are so many other hardworking people that this institution would not run without. Did they receive enough praise and appreciation for all that they do for us?
In a time where Julian Abel was not welcome in Durham or at this very university, he set a tower of hope and buildings of prestige.
Sitting down at the Duke University Rubenstein Libraries with the Office of Institutional Equity Records dating back from 1962 allows one to take a look at the history of statistics and policies at Duke.
I am Jocelyn Alcott. I am a professor of history, and I am currently the director of gender, sexuality, and feminist studies here at Duke University. I am a historian mostly of Mexico, but I work on transnational feminism, and I currently run a project called Revaluing Care in the Global Economy. The effects that you're noticing, that the kind of racialized and gendered effects of valuation of that labor are very much tied to the kinds of valuation that we see in other forms of domestic labor, paid and unpaid, throughout the economy. I think an important thing to remember is that the maldistribution of this labor, both paid and unpaid, toward mostly women, and mostly women who are members of, in one way or another, marginalized communities, so ethnically, religiously, racially, whatever, is pretty much global. Just wanting to highlight that this is, it's a Duke problem to be sure, and it's a Durham problem to be sure, and it's a US problem to be sure, but it's also kind of a world problem. But it does mean that we have to think of this as entangled with a much bigger web of challenges.
Hi, my name is Michaela Lee, and I work at Pitchforks and The Loop.
So my name is Laura Poma Gomez. I am a student at Duke University, a current sophomore, as well as a student cashier at the lobby shop.
People who would really take advantage of the position that they have and use that authority to kind of make or break someone's job. I've had a few experiences where I've had an ultimatum, and it was a very uncomfortable ultimatum, and to be put in a position, to look at this, challenge your livelihood. It's kind of not the best place to be. But sometimes circumstances kind of keep you where you're at, and you just have to deal with it. Using me for my work ethic to train someone else to be like me. Yeah. Wow. And then I had one job to do that to me again, and then after I trained this person, fired me. They wanted me, but they didn't want me. Yeah. But it's okay, because doors close for a reason, for better doors to be open.
There was a COVID outbreak that was linked to the staff at Marketplace, and they were basically asked to all leave for 2 weeks. And I'm pretty sure, like, I would need to confirm this, but I'm pretty sure none of them were given pay during those weeks. Even though, like, there's a high possibility that they could have gotten it from the students, or other than, like, even outside of that, like, they should still be getting paid for the weeks that they're not working because they got COVID probably at the workplace. So that was a big issue.
The Family Medical Leave Act, which is federal policy, gives you 12 weeks of unpaid leave. So that's if you can afford to just not get a paycheck for 3 months, then you can take that and your job is protected. You can come back to a job. But that's not the same as having paid leave.
In speaking to a lot of the other employees that have been, like, at the lobby shop and at the university store for a while, people work long hours. And like I said, like, they're expected to come in for, I don't know, like, their lives aren't respected sometimes. Like, they're expected to come in for long shifts. I know one of the employees that I was talking to once said that, like, during a holiday sale that they were, like, required to pick up 13-hour shifts. And I was like, how can you require an employee to be there for 13 hours?
How about what we think of as care labor and how it gets valued?
The more people would come and see me, and I'll just do my little spiel of, hey, how are you doing? I'm just, whatever I can do to spread any kind of light, just see it, how it affects, the people, and that just kind of encourages me to keep going, keep doing that, because it's making a difference. There would be days where, I would be sad going into work, dealing with things from, things brought up from the past, or just maybe everything piled on at one time. But I felt like work was my break from all of that, and it gave me a chance to, like, escape. And no matter what I was dealing with, like, I was still able to make a positive impact on someone else's day. Yeah. So being able to change someone else's day, even though I'm not having the best day, is like one of the best things like I could have ever realized I could do.
I think that Duke takes advantage of its low-income students through work study. I think a lot of institutions do. They know that they can use our labor. And while the lobby shop, like, is, like, pretty good pay rate at $15 an hour, there are several other jobs that pay much, much less. And if you're, like, asking a student to work for $10 an hour, I'm sorry, but that's not okay. You have billions and billions of dollars in your endowment. You definitely have the ability to pay these students. And even outside of that, you have the ability to give us grants and, like, not require us to work at all, because that's, like, honestly a big responsibility to shoulder. I've been working 2 jobs since I started at Duke. And to expect, like, to compare my experience at Duke to a student who is financially stable and has that background and does not have to work the same amount of hours, it's like impossible to compare. Like, we go to 2 different Dukes, we live 2 different lives, and it is an undue burden, I feel like, on low-income students to expect them to work at the same time as they go to, like, a top school.
Second job that I had here, it was more so of letting them know of the extra duties that you're taking on, but nothing was being done about it until it's kind of like, okay, well, if I'm going to have to do this, like, I don't mind if you're paying a little extra, but it's like, okay, well, I can't pay extra, so I'm just going to go ahead and make this person do it after, like, the 3rd time of saying something. So it's like,
on April the 4th, 1968, King was assassinated. There were meetings of student leaders who meet and think what to do, and it was decided to have a march to the president's house. There was an ad in the paper, student demands, one of which was recognized in the union, one of which was that Knight should resign from Hope Valley Country Club.
I was just headstrong on quitting at Pitchforks. I mean, I was just on my shift. I was just looking and putting in resumes. I was really going to leave. And two of the students came by and asked me, you know, how I just want to get the correct spelling of your name. Could you just write it down for me, please? And I wrote it down. And before my shift ended, you know, they came back and they had a bag, and this bag was just filled with letters from different students, and I had candy, and those letters are now tacked on my wall, you know, just for, you know, just a reminder of how I do impact someone else's day. Although this side doesn't value me, I'm so much more valued on this side. Like, you guys just don't know, you guys saved me from quitting that day.
People will do the most, and parents will do the most. Like when it was parents weekend, one of my coworkers got yelled at a really stupid reason. I think it was just like something wasn't scanning. My coworkers got yelled at by like these skater boys because their card was turned off because they hadn't tested in time. And it was like, we can't do anything about that. Like, that's on you. Weird to me that you treat me this way, because I'm supposed to be one of your peers, right? Like, I'm a fellow student, right? So like, even with that, like, you should be a little bit nicer. If you're treating me like this, how are you treating people who are not even like, who you've never seen at a party before, or like this, that, the other, like who you wouldn't see?